London, a city that has long stood as a symbol of diversity, resilience, and global influence. A city where more than 300 languages are spoken, where immigrants from every corner of the globe have built communities, businesses, and legacies. And yet, beneath this cosmopolitan image lies a tension that has been building for years, a tension that exploded onto the streets in the form of one of the largest anti-immigration protests in recent British history. The protest did not emerge from nowhere. For months, across Europe, debates about immigration have been heating up. But in the UK, and particularly in London, the issue has become sharper, more divisive, and more urgent. Rising numbers of asylum seekers arriving by small boats across the English Channel, growing concerns about housing shortages, the strain on public services, and an economic downturn have all mixed into a combustible atmosphere. When the protest was announced, many dismissed it as another fringe rally. But on the day, the sheer scale stunned observers. Tens of thousands of people marching through central London, holding signs that ranged from "Protect our borders" to "Britain for the British." The crowd was loud, determined, and angry. For many, this was not just a demonstration. It was a declaration of frustration, a collective cry that the government was no longer listening to them. The build-up. To understand how we reached this boiling point, we have to rewind. Britain has always been shaped by migration. From the post-World War II arrivals of Caribbean migrants who rebuilt the nation's infrastructure, to the waves of South Asian families who revitalized industries and neighborhoods, immigration has been woven into the country's DNA. Especially, London has thrived on this diversity, becoming a global hub for culture and commerce. But in recent years, a shift has occurred. The 2016 Brexit referendum was a watershed moment. "Take back control" wasn't just a slogan about Brussels, it became synonymous with controlling borders. Since then, immigration has dominated political discourse, and promises of reducing numbers have clashed with the reality of global migration pressures. By 2025, the numbers had reached record highs. The Office for National Statistics revealed that net migration in the UK exceeded 600,000 in a single year. Meanwhile, asylum applications surged, many linked to wars in the Middle East, instability in Africa, and economic migration from Eastern Europe. For critics, these figures confirmed what they had feared. Britain's immigration system was broken. The protest unfolds. On the day of the protest, central London was transformed. Police lined the streets, anticipating clashes. Helicopters buzzed overhead, while journalists positioned themselves along the march route. The chants echoed, "Close the borders, British jobs for British workers." Some carried the Union Jack, others wore clothing emblazoned with nationalist slogans. Yet the crowd was not uniform. Among them were middle-aged professionals worried about their children's future, elderly pensioners who remembered a different Britain, and young activists fired up by online movements. It was a melting pot of frustration, not always united in ideology, but united in anger. And then there was the counter-protest. Just a few streets away, thousands of pro-immigration demonstrators gathered, waving banners that read "Migrants Welcome" and "No to Racism." Their chants, "Say it loud, say it clear, refugees are welcome here," clashed with the anti-immigration slogans. The atmosphere was electric, tense, and at times violent. Police reported multiple arrests, with scuffles breaking out as the two groups collided. Voices from the ground. In documentaries, the most powerful insights often come from the people themselves. A protester named Alan, a 45-year-old builder, explained, "Look, it's not that I hate immigrants. My best mate's Polish. But when you can't get a doctor's appointment, when your kids can't get housing, When wages are going down, you start asking why. And the truth is, the system's letting too many people in. On the other side, Fatima, a second-generation immigrant studying politics at King's College, countered. This is about scapegoating. Immigrants didn't cause the housing crisis. Immigrants didn't wreck the NHS. These are political failures, and now the far right is exploiting people's anger. These conflicting voices represent Britain's divide, a nation torn between its multicultural reality and its anxieties about identity, resources, and the future.